When Thomas turned 65, he expected the usual changes of age: stiffer joints, slower mornings, the occasional lapse of memory. What he did not expect was the constant cough. It wasn't the kind that knocked him down with fever or chills. It was a steady, nagging cough that brought up mucus day after day. Some mornings he hacked into a tissue before breakfast. Other nights, he lay awake, throat irritated, chest tight, waiting for relief that never seemed to come. At first, he thought it was just a lingering cold, but months passed and still the cough returned. His wife, Elaine, grew concerned. "It's not normal to be coughing like that every day," she told him. He shrugged it off. The cough wasn't painful, but it was embarrassing. He avoided dinner with friends, afraid of hacking through the meal. Finally, during a routine checkup, Thomas mentioned it to his doctor. The physician listened carefully and explained that chronic mucus production in older adults wasn't uncommon. After 60, the body changed in ways most people never considered. Airways grew less elastic. The tiny hair-like cilia in the lungs that used to sweep away mucus became sluggish, and years of exposure, whether to dust, smoke, or simply polluted air, added up. "You're not alone," the doctor said, "but there are ways to manage it, and often natural approaches help the most." Thomas listened closely. He didn't want to live the rest of his life clearing his throat. That day, he learned about the common causes of mucus cough in older adults and the natural habits that could bring relief. One of the first culprits was postnasal drip. As people aged, the nasal passages dried out, but also produced thicker secretions. Those secretions often slid down the back of the throat, triggering a cough. Another cause was acid reflux, surprisingly common in seniors, especially at night. Stomach acid creeping into the esophagus could irritate the airway and stimulate mucus production. Chronic bronchitis and lingering inflammation from decades of minor infections also contributed. And then there was the simple truth of time. The lungs themselves weren't as efficient at clearing irritants as they had been at 40. But the hopeful part was what followed: natural steps Thomas could take each day. The doctor suggested starting with hydration. Thick mucus thrived when the body was dry. Sipping warm water throughout the day, especially herbal teas with ginger or chamomile, could thin secretions and make them easier to clear. Thomas had always favored coffee, but he swapped some cups for warm tea, and within a week noticed the mucus was looser. Next came steam and humidity. Dry air, especially in heated winter rooms, irritated the airways. By sitting near a bowl of steaming water or running a humidifier in the bedroom, older adults could soothe their lungs and loosen mucus naturally. Elaine bought a small humidifier, and soon their nights were quieter. The doctor also recommended breathing exercises. Deep diaphragmatic breathing, practiced slowly, expanded the lungs and helped push out mucus. Thomas joined a local senior yoga class where the instructor guided them in mindful breathing. At first it felt awkward, but he soon discovered that just 10 minutes each morning cleared his chest more effectively than constant coughing. Food, too, played a role. Spicy meals with chili or horseradish could briefly open nasal passages and clear congestion, but more important was avoiding foods that worsened mucus. Dairy and fried foods, which thickened phlegm for many. Thomas reduced his nightly ice cream habit, and though he missed it, he found that his throat felt less coated the next day. Herbal remedies had their place as well. Licorice root tea, thyme, and peppermint were known to ease coughs naturally. Honey, long trusted by generations, coated the throat and reduced irritation. Elaine began stirring raw honey into Thomas's evening tea, and it soothed him better than cough drops ever had. Perhaps the most surprising tip was about posture and movement. Slouching compressed the lungs, making it harder to expel mucus. Gentle exercise, walking, light stretching, tai chi, kept the chest cavity open and encouraged better airflow. Thomas made a habit of walking after dinner, and though the winter air was brisk, it seemed to clear his lungs in a way sitting never could. Over time, these small adjustments transformed his days. The constant hacking became occasional clearing. He no longer feared dinner with friends. He slept longer at night without waking in fits of cough. The natural remedies hadn't erased the mucus completely, but they made it manageable, something he controlled rather than something that controlled him. But beyond the relief, Thomas learned a quiet truth about aging. The body changed, yes, But change didn't mean helplessness. Coughing up mucus wasn't a sentence to discomfort forever. It was a sign that his body still worked hard to protect itself, pushing irritants out. By supporting those natural defenses through water, air, food, movement, and herbs, he could live with freedom again. Months later, while visiting his sister, he noticed her clearing her throat the way he once did. "It just won't stop," she confessed. Thomas smiled, remembering how lost he'd felt at first. "Let me tell you what helped me," he said, and he began to share the warm teas, the honey, the humidifier, the walks, the breathing exercises. She listened, hopeful. In that moment, Thomas realized his cough had given him more than frustration. It had given him knowledge, a way to guide others. Aging, he thought, wasn't just about surviving symptoms. It was about learning the quiet skills to live well in spite of them. And so each day he continued his rituals. The tea in the morning, the breathing practice, the evening walk. The mucus no longer ruled his life. Instead, it became a reminder that even after 60, the body could still adapt, heal, and thrive naturally. Word count 1100.